for your Talking Basketball podcast.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Basketball podcast. I am Mark.
That was a new one. Take my sink off, Mark.
I don't know when you're going to be saying stuff.
I'm Paul. Hello.
Yeah, about time. So, thank you for joining us for another edition of Talking Basketball podcast. Much more lively and cheerful one today.
Yeah.
I feel we're going to talk about a little bit of British basketball today because it's been a minute.
The Britons are back, Mark. Can I start off?
Do it.
I'm excited about this.
What do you mean you're excited about this? About what?
Liverpool are joining the SLB.
Oh,
I mean, don't get it. That's huge.
Yeah.
It is a huge moment for British basketball.
Yeah, that
Liverpool has officially been awarded a new SuperLeague Basketball franchise.
Oh my God.
And they are competing in the 2026-27 season. They are now the 10th men's team in the league. Great news.
Great news. Still wish they bring Plymouth back, but great
Well,
news.
hopefully in the future. But look, why does this matter? Why is this so significant? And that's why when I heard it, I was like, holy sugar plum fairies, Mark, send you the news. Why is this huge? Because Liverpool is one of the UK's biggest sporting cities.
Chicken.
Chicken and a can of Coke. But it has been without a top flight men's basketball team for over a decade. And like you got to go back to the Mersey Tigers. When do they fold? 2010 something, isn't it?
Anyway, didn't look up.
The new club, this for me is one of the biggest deals. The new club will play in the 11,000 seat arena. Which is the M&S Bank Arena, one of the largest venues now in British basketball.
Now, I love that.
11,000.
Because they're leveraging the arenas. And because they're leveraging the arenas, they're highlighting the importance of having them.
Yeah.
Instead of playing in a leisure centre sports hall, kind of like you have an actual arena. You get more bums on seats, which is obviously good in that respect. But I think that's amazing.
This is great news. And
absolutely.
When we had Paul Blake on the show, he said it was the SLB strategy to always expand into major cities and grow the league commercially, as long as it's, his word he always said was sustainable.
Had to be sustainable. Yeah.
And we always talked about the potential of Liverpool. I wonder would they ever do a team? And man, we got it.
It's great, isn't it? And do you know what's funny as well is that technically Liverpool will have their own stadium with a team with its own stadium before London do. Because London don't actually have their own stadium, even though that's the capital. It's an irony really itself, but
yeah,
it's brilliant.
You know, it's led by Jason Dolan, and again, can just continue on what Paul Blake said about. He always says the word sustainability. Dolan has actually said, I'm quoting him now, it's to build a club that lasts for decades, not seasons. And it's Liverpool. They've got a strong community program that's going to be built around that professional team. This is great.
Fantastic news. And congratulations to everyone who made that happen, because tying it as well within Liverpool and it being associated to the football club, I believe.
Is it?
I believe, isn't there association?
Oh, I
that?
didn't. That's not from me.
Okay.
I don't know.
But that, I mean,
I'd love it if they wear all red.
I mean, I'd imagine that's the thing, but
there might be a new. I don't know if the SLB's different. I think there might be a new rule that's come in. I don't know if this is at FIBA level or just British Basketball England. Something to do with the socks have got to be conforming across the team now.
Yeah, they do. It's to do with the ankle height socks, and you have to have the same colour.
Yeah,
but it's
so you could with Liverpool red.
So I don't. Yeah, you could bring back the candy stripe, couldn't they? No reason why they wouldn't. I don't think I can think of anyone on top of my head who's playing in just all red, other than Leicester, because Leicester Riders were always white, red, and black.
But Mark, this is a big deal. This isn't just another expansion team. Like Liverpool, we've always said, is arguably the biggest untapped basketball market in Britain. And all eyes on what happens next. Who's going to be the first head coach? Can they attract established British stars or high-level imports? What are they going to do? Will Liverpool compete immediately, or are they going to build gradually like Manchester basketball? What are they going to do?
I don't know. I mean,
Everything is positive.
it's super exciting.
Look, it might 100% super exciting. Now, let me just say this. Let's pretend you have 10 with 10,000 seats arenas. We're now really serious. You're now same level as Australian NBL. That's where they're at.
That's where they're getting to. Not quite at yet.
Well, no.
We haven't got 10 arenas.
No, Australia do.
Oh yeah.
Australia, the Australian NBL, that's kind of where they're at. I think there's like 10, 11, 12 teams in the Australian main league. Yeah. And they've all
famous for, cultivating that. I want to say it was Rising Stars or something along those lines, which was part that they used. And you had, I believe, it was LaMelo Ball, who went and played in the NBL for a season, then went straight into the NBA, went through that way rather than going through the NBA drafts and stuff. And
NBA players go through there.
Yeah, and you've seen Steve Adams and people who've played for people at certain levels and going through. So it's one to aspire to, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's huge news. So,
I mean, that is fresh as well. That is super fresh.
And hopefully the SLB can continue with this. I mean, this is just amazing.
The M&S Bank Arena, you said. Yeah. Do you think they, in the concession stands, they'll have the M&S sandwich meal deal? Because they're pretty tasty. And you get like the fancy crisps there. You don't just get like, I'll have a pack of squares, which, I'll admit, that's the premium crisp. But they'll have like their own version of McCoy's and stuff. So I'm just showing it out there. Like, it's the M&S Bank thing. They probably going to have some premium snackage, not just going to have to go vending machine style.
Look, Mark, we got to ask 2 questions. I've done this for every arena. Ooh. We got a nickname for the arena, like with Newcastle, we got the Eagle's Nest. That's an obvious one.
No, it's the M&S Bank Arena. It's either the bank or the vault.
The bank or the vault?
Well, it is called the M&S Bank Arena.
The bank. We're going to the bank or the vault. That's great.
Yeah.
Mark, you beat me to one. Bloody hell, that's well good.
Because if you're a visiting team, the question is, can you break the bank?
Can you break the bank? Bloody hell, Mark, you've just knocked it out the park there.
You're welcome. You are welcome. So look.
Well, you've answered that question. But what about the team name? What about team name? I mean, historically, they could go down the city identity like Liverpool Basketball Club. Or if it was going to be a nickname, don't forget you had, hang on, let me find this. Yeah, so the Mersey Tigers from 2010 to 2013. That was it. So the Mersey Tigers. So could they be the Liverpool Tigers? Actually, you had the Everton Tigers as well before that.
I think the problem...
There are no Tigers in Liverpool.
Yeah, there is that. I think some of the heritage names, a lot of challenges got wrapped up when the what was the BBL, and they went through that financial thing and they wrapped up a lot of things. There were a lot of names that were attached to that league. One, for example, was the London Lions. They bought out that lot. But the other one was Manchester Giants, if you remember.
I loved that name, Manchester Giants.
The Giants was such a
great name.
And had a lot of heritage within the UK. The Giants name actually got lost within that whole dissolution. So I don't know if they'll be buying it back or bringing it back. But for these last few seasons, it's just been called Manchester Basketball, which I'm not saying it's disappointing, but it's when you have the heritage of the Giants name attached.
No, I agree.
That was lost, and that was a real pity. There's a lot of like Leicester with the Riders, for example. The Riders have been known for a long time as the Riders. we've seen other teams where Surrey, with the 89ers, made a new name out of what was resultant
So what are we gonna
was
give them?
Guildford, and then you had Surrey. And
I mean,
don't know.
you got the
Liverpool is very famous as a very cosmopolitan city. It's very
maritime history.
very famous for the dockyards. That's where I was
The
going
Liverpool Mariners. The Liverpool Docks. Liverpool, the Dockers. Liverpool Mersey.
I think
Liverpool Steel.
the only thing with the Tigers is, yes, you have that Tigers, but when you say the Tigers and basketball, I think Thames Valley, and I can't
Yeah.
go past Thames Valley
What about
Tigers.
something around? I mean, like one of the best bands of all time, the Beatles, like the Liverpool Liverpool Beatles, the Liverpool Beats. I don't know. I wonder if there's something in that. I'm an ideas man. I'm just flowing. I'm in mid flow. Stop dissing me with your face.
Liverpool Beatles.
No, I said, or the Liverpool Beat,
No,
Liverpool Echoes, Liverpool Rhythm.
no.
What animals are around Liverpool?
Liverpudlians.
The Liverpool Chickens. Liverpool Chickens.
So
I'm not saying they're
it-
chickens. It's just the word chicken and
I,
coke.
I don't know what Liverpool. Who is the Is it Everton as the Toffees? Is that right?
Yeah, I think.
That's what I'm saying. They've got.
Don't know.
So maybe within Liverpool, I don't know Liverpool well enough. It's a beautiful city. Loved it. The times I've visited.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I got one for you now.
There's probably
Your mascot. It's called Red. Oh, I've just kicked the dog in the head again.
Yeah.
Kicked Sophie Clark in the face. Oh no, sorry, it's the other end.
You kicked her butt.
What? You have a mascot. Call it Red.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's a great one. Liverpool Raiders. Liverpool Red Bulls.
You can't. As much as you want to say the Devils, I don't think they
No,
would actually-
they won't want the Devils. Definitely not.
because you have to. Manchester United's the Devils, isn't it?
Yeah, they won't like that. Oh, it's just everything about this is amazing. SLB knocked it out the park. Liverpool knocked it out the park.
It's
Brilliant.
It's nice that you have 10 teams now rather than 9,
Yeah.
because I know it's only one more. It meant that when you have the cup competition again, it feels like you could have, a few extra teams go in there and they do a round robin trophy sort of thing. Rather than just go, oh, who's the 6 teams at the top? Oh, they're all going to go through. It was just, I won't say it was a pointless exercise, but if you don't have enough teams,
No, this is a powerhouse they've brought in, isn't it?
yeah, and they're making
future powerhouse.
exactly, and it's interesting seeing who they have, for signings and stuff
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, I guess the season starts in 2 months.
Yeah, it should be.
Let me double check. They're going into this season, right?
It's this season.
I'm
They're
sure
going
it's I'm sure
26, 27.
27 season, yeah. I mean, look, I can't say enough about how amazing this is. Now, imagine we had that like another 5 times. I mean, it, like we're there.
So
The dream
right here's
is
the
in touch and distance.
here's the reality. What we're missing from the league, the big thing we're missing from the league, some teams in the south. That's what we're missing.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Well, I suppose the
If you have Liverpool, then
So let's wait. What are the next teams? What's the next? So Cardiff.
Cardiff, like the Met Archers, a great team. And what I've always liked about the Archers is you have a men's and women's teams. They have people in the top flight, but they also have like Division 2, Division 3 teams. So they clearly have academies. That is the, I won't say the epicenter for Welsh basketball in Cardiff. And you go, they do that and they promote that, and all the players who come clearly have a love of the game. So that's the kind of thing you want to build it around, surely. The same way, we've mentioned Paul Blake up in Newcastle when they took over from Sunderland and it was all merged up there. They've made their ecosystem up there. Leicester have done the same. In Sheffield, same thing with the Sharks and their great stadium. So I think we need to see those southern teams. The most southern team we've got at the moment is either Bristol or Surrey. That's it. They're the most southern teams.
Yeah.
Like, historically looking basketball, Plymouth, obviously, but Worthing, Solent Stars, you've had teams down this way.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Thames Valley and stuff, but and Crystal Palace is like, you had more than one team in London. Now you don't.
So if we had
we're missing those southern teams. We really are.
If you're in charge and you can just wave a magic wand, where do you think? So Cardiff kind of jumps out, doesn't it?
If I'm being really critical and really honest, I love the idea of Plymouth, because whenever we talk to people down there,
Plymouth, yeah.
The reason I like Plymouth is, one, it's got heritage, but two, there's clearly a big fan base and a big love of the game down there.
I actually really like when the arena where it's like the
in
crowd
in the pavilion. Yeah, that was amazing.
It's great.
Now I'm going to be controversial here a little bit.
Why?
Well, I'm thinking that places like Brighton or Worthing, they've got a good tenure for it. I also do believe that Portsmouth could be a great place if we had a stadium.
Yeah.
Because
Arena,
we're on the south coast.
Belfast?
No.
Too far? Too far to go?
I don't think so.
I think the ones we've talked about before, Birmingham, clearly Birmingham would be up there.
Yes.
Nottingham, strong basketball history.
The hoods and stuff, yeah.
Large university. Milton Keynes.
Is that what you'd look for? Would you look at the unis?
Well, I think
because that's why I'm looking at,
when you have clubs work with universities, it works well.
Yeah, look, that worked well with the Kestrels, for example. They've done things with those.
Well, their academy, but look, you got the Leicester, great example.
Yep.
But blueprints for success. Milton Keynes, great blueprint for setting up a club, and they're in the championship now. But I'd love to see them. Lots of people don't like it, but I absolutely love the Milton Keynes jersey.
Oh yeah,
the stripes. I think it's brilliant. Like you don't really
Sunderland
see
Football
stripes.
Club. Yeah.
I love it. And lots of people say, Paul, what are you going on about? I love it. It's brilliant.
No, that's a good one.
Who else? I think Southampton, Portsmouth, that would be great. If you could get both. I think the challenge in Southampton is they're committed to they're so we say Southampton, we're talking Solent, Kestrels, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
They're committed, they've got a team.
I mean, look, Bournemouth
could compete in the championship, I think.
In the South Coast, in terms of cities.
Home. It's their home. It's what, 600 capacity?
Yes, not enough. And if you look along the South Coast, that's the thing that we have problems with, is some of the venues. And if I'm talking about towns and cities where people play basketball actively with, basketball communities, you really got Plymouth, Bournemouth, Southampton, Portsmouth, Worthing. Those are the 5 main ones along that southern edge.
Down in Devon or Cornwall. I know historically
Exeter. I mean, that's where the main uni is. And if you go down that neck of the woods, then you've got Bristol as your close rivals, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, lots of fans suggesting Dublin or Cork online.
That would never happen.
Other people are shouting Hull, Norwich, Coventry, Swansea.
Well, it would never happen because Ireland actually has their own basketball league. That is called the SuperLeague.
Yeah.
So, ironically, the SLB in the UK, SuperLeague Basketball, is actually what the Republic of Ireland have actually called theirs. That's why I don't think Belfast necessarily would.
It's interesting, isn't it? Does the SLB try and prioritise a good city and try and create something in there with that, or do they look to go into a club? Existing.
Look at Leicester.
Back a traditional market like Plymouth or Nottingham, or do they go right? We're going to try and do something like in Belfast or Cardiff.
You do Plymouth. The only reason that people don't mind Plymouth is because it's a long old trek. But if you look at where all the other teams are based, you've got Manchester, Cheshire, Liverpool, Nottingham, for example, or Birmingham, Milton Keynes. And then you start painting these pictures like, well, hang on a minute, in London, everyone's in the central bit. London's all like the outlier. Then at the bottom, you've got Surrey. if you then, and Bristol's just over here, so Bristol you can get quite quickly to Birmingham and stuff within a thing. But then you go Plymouth, even from Bristol, it's 2 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
Like, same for everyone who was going up to go to Glasgow. Like, the nearest club to Glasgow was Newcastle. Other than that, everyone's like, oh, it's a trek.
I know this will make you laugh. I remember those poor sods. We went to watch Surrey play, and we were hanging around afterwards. I'll come back to that point. Remind me, say, Paul, what you're going to say about players. And we were, hanging around talking to a few people, and the bus for Caledonia was outside, and we just thought, you poor sods, you now got to go on that bus for what, 10 hours?
Yeah, that's a trek.
And what time did we leave there? Must have been like 9:30, 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Poor sods.
That's a get home at 5 a.m. have a little sleep.
That's what it is
Sorry.
all about.
Of course it is, and some people say that's their job, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's
a great day. And you know what? One of the things this is what I was going to come back to. I think as the league grows, one of the things that we are going to lose, and we're going to lose it as as the league and teams grow, is the accessibility to players. At the moment you're never going to get it again. If the league grows, because you have security, they're going to go off and all their things. But it's huge shout out to the Surrey 89ers. You've got absolute legends like Andrew Lawrence, who's sitting there, walking up to the kids. They're coming up to him, talking to him. He's signing jerseys. He's having that one-to-one interaction. And I remember a few players, especially Andrew Lawrence, just stood out because it wasn't just, hey, how are you? Sign. He was actually really making an effort. He was really connecting with the kids, with the people coming up to. And I just thought, you know what? That is amazing. But I do think if the league grows and grows, that's one of the things we'll lose. And we'll look back and go, a bit like, we used to get on a plane and you go, can I go and sit in the cockpit?
Yeah.
And you'd go and you can't do that anymore. I think a bit like that, but
that is a real
great. This is amazing.
Right, so
Powerhouse is in.
Let's take that on a standpoint, because we've mentioned him already a couple of times, but we're talking about the SLB. So let's just zoom out a little and look at the wider British basketball. So
how long have we been talking about the SLB, Mark?
20 odd minutes.
20 odd minutes?
Yeah.
Are we continuing?
Of course.
All right.
But listen, we're now going to be talking about what was the GBBL. Yeah. So formerly, the GBBL was that group that took over UK basketball's license. So what the license SLB had, GBBL took it over. And what's interesting is that was fronted by the ex-Portland Trail Blazers president, Marshall Glickman. Now, that was a controversy itself. There was a whole thing. There was legal applications, a 15-year license. Glickman resigned as director, and the whole push died. And the BBF itself went into liquidation, the British Basketball Federation, at the end of December last year. So part of the reasons, as some of you may know, that we slowed down a lot of our episodes was because the whole league and the whole of basketball governance in the UK literally went bankrupt. The whole thing liquidated.
It was a changing I remember saying this on the podcast. It was such an ever-changing landscape, and it was like...
Yeah. And like everything with those things, it's the same as in the corporate world. When all of these massive dramatic things happen, lips tighten up. No one says anything. No one gives any information out, because they don't, until they make a press release, which will then be released by every single subsequent club or any single body that is associated with that. You hear nothing. You get nothing. And we'd spent a lot of time putting our efforts in to raise the profile of the league and British basketball as a whole. We put a lot of time into that. And it was very, very frustrating time for everyone, because no one knew what was happening, including the players and people involved. So what emerged was that FIBA gave official recognition to the SuperLeague Basketball. And Paul Blake has become the chair for the Interim Delivery Commit Group. And that group's made up of Basketball England, Scotland, Wales, and SuperLeague Basketball and British Championship Basketball. So let's not forget about British Championship Basketball, because they were the teams who split off and said,
from Basketball England. Well, they were basically Basketball England Div 1 teams, and they just went, we're going to go and create...
We're going to make our own championship league, because there was no connection, unlike the Football League, there was no connection between the National League and Super League.
I think there was a little bit of commercialisation that they wanted to do that Basketball England restricted them as well. So I know that's one of the...
They were like, well, we're sick of playing in this league and winning this league, but we also can't, you'll not let us into the other league. So we just made our own thing. So while all of that was going on, the whole structure and frame behind basketball and how it's funded, how it's looked after, who is governed, the referees, everything, all of that was just put on hold. So that has been a massive change. And now we've seen Paul Blake is being the chair. Don't forget, he was the chair of the British Basketball League way back in the mid-2000s. So he does understand how to run a league, what to do, who should be involved, how to govern. And that was really great news. That was really, really positive news.
Yeah, I agree. And especially because I think you see what Paul Blake has done in the past, like with Newcastle Eagles. What has he done with that? Being a real champion of the SLB. Look what's happened with that. Brilliant. It was all great. Just bringing Liverpool into it. And I think to make him one of those leaders is, he's everything he does is nice.
Yeah.
And is the right decision, I think.
And as you said earlier, it's sustainable. And he always has the prize on, can we repeat this? Yeah. And is this good value for people coming to watch this as an entertainment? Because let's all forget, people, we're all talking about professional basketball. You're there to entertain us. We are going to watch a basketball game to be entertained, to enjoy it, to enjoy an experience, to go and watch decent basketball.
Look, you could chuck a load of teams in really easy, but
it's got to be a certain quality.
Because it's like, okay, cool, we want this team to be in for 10 years.
Yep.
Like, that's and that's where Paul Blake is a real leader.
Yep.
And someone to aspire to as far as what he's contributing to basketball.
He's got his own stake in it as well. So it's like he wants this to win, same as all the owners do. It's like, this isn't just a day job for them. Like, if not, it doesn't do well, never mind. Like, they have personal funds, personal time, effort, money, decades of doing this. So this is great for British basketball. And the reason that's important is twofold. One, because it gives every bit stability. It means that the government can start funding basketball again. That means that people such as Basketball England, Wales, Scotland can all come together, and the national teams and all of the trickle down for not just current players, but for future players and generations coming into it. It gives it somewhere to start saying, right, here's a line in the stand. Let's get some stability.
So GBB, that's now the governing body?
I believe it's called GBB.
Yeah.
It was.
So this is replaced the BBF?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think the SLB is going to become GBB?
Don't know. Do you know what? I'm not even going to guess now, because last time we were guessing, they were coming out of all crazy stuff.
Yeah.
The league spent 20 odd years being called the Brazilian butt lift, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But
I know it was a running joke. I think they were trying to get away with it.
And they were trying to get away from it for years and years.
BBL,
then all of a sudden they said, we're going to call it SuperLeague Basketball. And you go, oh, I know. Look, I said, you liked it. I hated it. I've grown to like it over time. But then it fragmented. Then the league, then something, and then they did this whole license thing where they sold a license to these randoms.
Can I say we've always supported the SuperLeague Basketball?
100 million% always been behind them.
I know when there was loads of talk about the Americans coming in, and we were just like, you know what? I remember us saying you cannot have the top league in basketball without the SLB clubs. Like that, they are British basketball.
So I'm going to give Keith a shout out because I know Keith likes to listen. He was saying...
Who's Keith, Mark?
Big Keith. Big Keith is a
GB Masters legend.
Just
come back from Greece. Yeah, shoot. What are you going to tell Keith?
When he said to me, you know, when they go away for the Masters games and you go and you see the teams that are there, and so he's competing for GB at that level, and you see other players, you look around and you go, oh, hang on a minute, the Italian team, a lot of these players who are the national team, they all played in the Italian leagues in and around with each other.
Yeah.
So when they're practicing and training, they all know like each other, and they go, oh, this guy likes the ball here. They like it. They play in this sort of form. They play in this sort of fashion. When you look at the UK teams, a lot of the top flight guys and girls have had to go play overseas, and we see that. We've seen that. We've seen teams and players. I know you see it in the National League in football, but specifically in basketball, if they wanted to play professional level basketball at a decent level, they had to go to Europe or they had to go abroad. And what we started seeing in the Super League, until it all got detonated and, you know, everyone realised that the funding was crazy, before that happened, people were looking at like the London Lions, they were looking at the Phoenix, they were looking at Riders and Eagles and saying, okay, there's actually talented players here, and they're homegrown British players. And they were getting them picked to go to outside, and they're going, no, we want to play in the UK league because it's good, it's exciting. And for all the sins that the BBL and SLB, when they did the shake-up with some of the naming and the way they did it, their communication was lacking, but their media was brilliant. We both thought it was exciting. You know, what they were doing with design, and it was exciting to watch. People got into it.
What do you think of the new branding? Just looking at it now, I quite like it.
It's not offensive, is it? You've got to rebrand. You've got to, with everything going on, you've got to do something, haven't you?
Yeah, it looks nice.
So the reason this is important, people, is because well, firstly, it gives us stability in terms of a national team. So let's talk about the national team for GB. We made a point of talking about it last year before, where we were 48th or 50th in the world in terms of FIBA rankings. We'll get the bad news out of the way first in terms of our GB team for going in the World Cup. How do we do with that?
Well, I guess they're kind of in a rebuilding phase, really. I mean...
Yeah. Well, we didn't qualify, basically.
They're competitive, but they're not yet among Europe's elite.
No.
I think that's a nice way of saying. Hey, can I say, great news. Luke Nelson coming back into the UK basketball scene. But yeah,
Manchester he's playing for, isn't it? Is it Manchester or Leicester? One of those two. I saw someone had signed him. I want to say it's Manchester for some reason. Oh, it was. And do you know why I thought, oh, that's cool? Because didn't his dad play for Manchester? Didn't Steve Nelson play for Manchester?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it was Manchester, because I thought, oh, that's cool that he gets to play where his dad was playing. But maybe I'm completely reading it wrong. Anyway, what's nice is that...
Yeah, they lost to... who did they lose to?
Oh, hang on. I wrote it down. I want
to say Norway off the top of my head.
Let's have a look. Seniors, 88, 86, is that right? Iceland in Manchester.
Oh, Iceland, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they needed to win it to stay in the round. They didn't win. And they also lost to Lithuania.
Oh, that was a big one where, they were up by...
They were up by 2 and they lost to a 3, or vice versa, or something.
No, I think the guy hit 3 threes. I think they were up by 8 with 10 seconds left, something like that.
But there was a late 3 that banged it, didn't it, basically? But because the Basketball Federation went into the liquidation and all that sort of thing, there was no bodies available, and now at least there's an interim basis for someone to allow them to do that. So 2027 FIBA World Cup, they're not in that. So next year they won't be on that. But
Yeah, it came down to that one weekend, wasn't it? So they lost by 2 points to Iceland and Manchester. And
but on the
the
flip,
World Cup dream is over. But it's always going to be hard when you're in.
got the fresh air dreams over. Your dog has just absolutely let rip, and that's horrendous.
That's disgraceful.
That is a room clearer. That, I mean, if you, oh God, you put her in a room with someone you don't like. It's literally like rising up from the table. It's rising up from the table. What's worse is that the dog has only now just raised its head like, I don't know, what's your problem? Like that is something else. That is. Like when we're gaming and you say, oh God, the dog's let go. I think it can't be that. That is dread. She's got her head back down again. She's like,
not bothered.
Nothing here, nothing to see.
Are you sure it's not you?
I would go to the doctors if that was me. Look, but
World Cup dreams over. But
we've got to give a big clap now.
all right.
Because you can't say but and not say congratulations to the Commonwealth Games. The 3-on-3.
Yeah, they dominated.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And that's back-to-back wins, I believe. That's back-to-back Commonwealth golds.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to finalise. I just wanted to look it up just to make sure Great Britain are now still 44th. They've gone up a few places, 44th in the rankings. Ironically, Iceland, who did that devastating result against us. So we lost. They're actually 45th. But the 3v3. Yeah, they dominated.
Absolutely dominated, and it was the same final because it was against Australia. Same final as it was in Birmingham in 2022. That's when they won as well. So amazing that it was like a replay of their previous that they went and they won it again. So that's brilliant.
Ironically, we rank in the world 31st.
Yeah. What is 3-on-3?
Yeah.
Again, when they do in the world, sometimes they
with 3-on-3, you don't need huge. Like I think historically, you look at things like Latvia, Serbia, Netherlands. You don't need huge basketball populations to become a world 3v3 powerhouse.
No. And before I come back to the 3-on-3, I also want to give a shout out to the women's wheelchair basketball. Wheelchair 3-on-3. England women's won gold. They beat Scotland. And they had a bronze before. And their English men's wheelchair team took silver, losing to Australia. So it was like the Australians took the 3-on-3. We won the 3-on-3. And the Australians took the wheelchair 3-on-3. It's like we both shared a gold. But it was the same two nations, which is I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah. You know what one of my favourite moments of the 3v3 in the Commonwealth Games were?
No.
James Johnson.
Really?
Everyone knows what I'm talking about. He hit, it was in the quarterfinals against Malaysia. Scotland are down by 3. What's he do? 2 seconds. 1 second. Heaves up. Fade away 3. Boom. Goes in.
Look,
To send Scotland into the semi-finals. I mean, look, I know basketball can be a really dramatic sport and there's drama everywhere, but like that is kind of just highlights how amazing and beautiful and poetic and all of that basketball can be. Great moment.
I took a while to get used to watching 3-on-3, I'll be honest, because it is a different game, the way it's played. And I think it's what it comes down to is the type of transition that you have in, a normal 5-on-5, the way that the game transitions and the way that the points are scored and the speed, etc. It's just a different flow. So it took me a while with that. But as you say, the excitement in the game.
Oh, what, in the final?
In 3-on-3s, you can get some really good... What I like about the 3-on-3 is the way that the game can swing. Someone can be down and then all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang. They're not even back in it, they're winning.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yep, bang, bang, bang. And it can change that quickly, whereas you don't tend to have such a quick swing in an NBA game because it's longer and the transitions are longer and there's a bit more of that type of strategy. So I've got on board with that more and more now as I've seen it. And to be honest, that's as much a credit to them winning the Commonwealth in 2022. That's as much a credit to them as that, because before that, I always associated 3-on-3 with, I want to say street ball, but that type of thing, part of the AN1 generation. So you associate it with Skitsmaloo and everyone in that's the professor and that kind of street ball, as opposed to a actual tangible game where you need skill and not just you're traveling and carrying it and everything that goes on that. There's actually a game in itself in it. So yeah, massive credit to everyone who did well in the Commonwealth, because that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, next thing they got to qualify is for the Europe Cup coming up.
Yeah, no worries with that. No worries at all with that. They'll do
I
it.
don't know, qualifying, they got some of the Europe's strongest teams, Mark.
Yeah, but that
Serbia, Netherlands, Latvia, France, Lithuania.
That is the nature of, we've talked about it with World Cups and those sort of things. Whenever the downside with the UK that we've always had, the challenge is that Europe basketball is really strong. And as soon as you start looking at individual countries, it's, we've got like 10, probably 11 really strong country teams that play basketball, and it's ingrained with them. So when you're comparing, like,
must be even more than that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I can think of 10 countries straight off the bat that you go, they are basketball countries.
Powerhouses, yeah.
And you can look at Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, just straight away. There's 6 of them without even thinking about it. Then you got the Netherlands. You can throw Belgium in there as well, actually. Serbia, yep. You got Croatia. Yeah, I've already said Germany.
You say Spain.
We haven't even put the UK in there yet.
You said Portugal.
I haven't said Norway or Sweden yet. I mean, we're at like 14 teams already without even really thinking about Greece, Turkey.
Like world rankings make a difference. I believe when they're doing all the qualification pathways.
Yeah, of course. So when we look at what's the best team in the Americas, for example, the reason a lot of the Americans come out on top is because who they're playing against. Now, you get teams like Argentina and stuff that are very good, and Brazil, but fundamentally, the melting pot that they have, they're not comparing the games to you're playing against Spain or Greece. Think of those games that we played when they were doing it before.
So getting to the Europe Cup is important. There's a big difference between established programs and developing programs, and we need to take our developing program
and
into
that
the Europe
is
Cup
where you see it
regularly to become one of the established.
Exactly. And look at the European basketball that they're playing, and I know like Newcastle, and I think it was Leicester last year when they were going and playing in the ENBL. I don't believe those teams are doing that this year. I could be wrong, but I don't believe this season they're going to be doing that. And part of the reason is because of British basketball, they're recalibrating everything. But the fact that they have to do those sort of things shows that, a bit like Champions League, but football, there's always that top cream of teams that just operate on a different level. And that's where the UK basketball needs to get to. So that's where I was coming from that. But the reason it circles back to being important is because the London Lions are playing someone.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? Another good moment that I know you're going to mention, you was on your list to mention, was the ball getting stuck in the final.
Yeah.
That was cool.
You expect someone to go out, have a little broom, have a little poke.
I thought they were trying.
I know.
I think didn't the player get it in the end?
Yeah.
He took the broom off him.
But you go, you're the professionals. It still happens. It's just part of the game. But look, we can't finish about talking about British basketball without talking about that, that mic drop of, oh, by the way, Portland Trailblazers are going to come and play in London. What? Against a British team. What? I mean, who arranged that?
Is it in London?
I believe so.
Oh.
I thought they're coming to London. I thought that's what the whole point was. Unless I completely...
No, I don't think they are.
London Lions will play Portland Trailblazers in the Oh, it's at the Moda Centre, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that just turned into huge news.
For some reason, I thought...
They're coming to a 3,000-seat arena.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I literally read it the other way. It's because I'm getting mixed up with the.
But it is historic news, Mark, because it is the first British club ever to play an NBA team.
And we
huge news
when we spoke.
Huge.
When we were talking about Adelaide, and they mentioned at the time that they went over and
was it Phoenix or Utah? I
think it's Phoenix that they played against, and they did that whole. This was the first time. Your dog is now dreaming and barking at my foot, like.
Mark, do you think the podcast mascot is?
I think she's disruptive. I think she's a attention seeker. That's what it is. She's like, I want attention on me. She was licking my foot earlier. Now she's growling and barking while she's dreaming.
Should we change Sophie Clark's name to Angel Reese or Angel?
What? She's a disruptor.
She wants attention.
You could call her Caitlin Cunningham.
Angel.
Cece. But yeah, they're playing that game. That's historic. That is the same thing as what happened to the NBL when the NBL got that spotlight from Adelaide playing in Phoenix. It's a huge thing. My question is, they're playing London Lions. 3 years ago when the Lions had that kind of super team, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know who London's got. I genuinely don't know who they've got.
You're an ignoramus.
I am. I don't know who is playing for that team at that point that's going over there. Because I don't think they've released as many who's on the team. But huge. The interesting thing though is it's Portland, who the previous GM of Portland was the person who was trying to invest in British basketball and in fact won the bid to have the league, only for that whole deal to collapse because the league collapsed. So it's ironic that Portland's there. It's also ironic that they're playing Portland, who will have, as you said in a previous episode, Jeremy Sohan has signed a 1-year deal to go play at Portland.
Yeah. And, you know, they got some, London got some Americans.
Yeah, they have. But I don't know who they are.
Former second-round pick, Maxwell Lewis, NBA experience. You know, look, let's not.
It's brilliant.
Let's not go over the top. Look, NBA is a different level. It's a different level, isn't it?
I saw one of the comments that when they announced it, and someone said, "If this is not a 50-point blowout, it's a rigged game."
And well, I mean, they might just play bench players or.
Well, my argument is, I think you could counteract with that. It depends what game they're playing. If they're playing an NBA game, it could be a 50-point blowout, but that's because the refereeing in the NBA, controversial or not, it's a little bit lax and a little bit inconsistent compared to some of the reffing in Europe, where they are way harsher, way faster, and the whole traveling side of things and carrying the ball, it's a different game. So that's my argument, is there are two slightly different games.
Excuse me. No, I mean, yeah, it is huge. And kind of when I heard about the news, I was wondering, is this going to open the door for Newcastle, Leicester, you know, other teams?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Liverpool, 11,000 in your arena. Is it going to open the door up for these teams to maybe
possibly
play host American teams? I mean, historically, I mean, just looking at it now, historically, you've got NCAA teams that tour. Sheffield Shark have hosted several NCAA touring teams. So have Leicester, Newcastle. So they're playing college teams. Actually, I remember I'd have to look into it, find out who, but yeah, you'd get NCAA teams come over and play Portsmouth back in the day when they were like the BBL champions. I remember going up to this as a kid, going up to a player asking for his autograph during the game, and
okay.
I can visualize being very sternly told off to leave the player alone. He was in a game. He's on the bench. But look, we got European teams. I mean, we've you know London, Leicester, Newcastle. They all go up against European competitions quite regularly.
But it's just a different. I say it would be the same as Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid if they went, or Panathinaikos.
Those teams do go up against the NBA team.
Exactly. And those teams are like Panathinaikos or somewhere that, as champions, they're the highest caliber you can get. And those guys, when they go up against the NBA, it's the next step.
Music stop, Mark. What's going on?
Yeah, I muted it. I pressed the button on my knuckle. But you're saying that about, is that going to leave the way of something? But it also is reflecting NBA Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that.
I 100% think it's that.
Door.
Who's the team? Well, who is the team?
London and Manchester, the ones they're talking.
Yeah, and who's going to go play Portland?
Yeah,
London. If they said it was a Manchester team.
Manchester, the home of number 10 North.
Yep. But look, the 12 market teams, London, Manchester, Paris, Lyon, Madrid, Barcelona, Rome, Milan, Berlin, Munich, Athens, and Istanbul. And you look at all of those are the 12 market teams, 12 teams where they would get massive, massive fan bases.
I've got to say, like when you talk
all of the
arenas,
all of them are connected with huge arenas.
Well, like Liverpool, 11,000. Where are London going to play?
Yeah, exactly. That's the irony.
I know there's, the new arena, but that's not going to be ready for.
So 12 permanent. So they're targeting October 2027 for the NBA League. That's genuinely what they're targeting. Yeah. 16 teams, 12 permanent, 4 qualify. Yeah. So where they've got, say, like Athens, for example.
Oh yeah,
you're not just going to have one.
It's the hardcore, and then you get the invitees.
Yeah, you're going to have Fenerbahce.
Isn't it just like the same as the
Panathinaikos.
EuroLeague at the moment? That's what a lot of people will argue.
Yep. Final bids came in June. Loads of teams. I mean, when you're saying like Liverpool coming into the SLB, loads of the teams with money that were football related have put in for this. They're like 20 plus groups have got involved because they know, and greedy or not, it's because they look at the NBA and they say, well, hang on a minute. Someone buys in at Mark Cuban bought the Mavs for 200 million. He sold them for 3.5 billion. Like there's a lot of money in owning a team. The current NFL Dallas Cowboys, the ownership are looking at maybe selling some buy-in. And funny enough, Mark Cuban's thinking of buying into that. At the moment, I think they valued the team of Dallas Cowboys at something like 12 or 16 billion. Like stupid money. And he bought that for 100 million back in 1989 or something. Like the amount of money these sports teams are worth. The Lakers sold for 10 billion. Celtics sold for 6.6 or something. The money in these teams is
That'd be
huge.
nice, wouldn't it?
Well, so that's why the cheapest you'll ever buy it is if you buy it the first time that you buy your stake in it.
You go back in time.
Yeah, you basically are going back in time. You are revising.
You've got to go back
so
in time.
All of these people are really interested in play that. San Antonio and New Orleans are going to be playing in Europe, in Paris this year or next year, but also in Manchester as well. So Manchester and Paris are hosting San Antonio and New Orleans this season. Whereas before,
for it, innit?
if you remember, it used to be NBA Europe, and it was just played in London. Then NBA Europe for the last 2-3 seasons has played only in Paris. Now one's going to be in Manchester, one's going to be in Paris, and you go, okay, I see what they're doing here. It helps everyone's bids. That's as of next season, next October. That's when they're looking to get this all done.
And we have said this before
and they're waiting for 2 more teams to go into the NBA, and that decision's being made at the end of this season. So you look at it and you think the NBA
at the
really
end of the season coming up.
Well, at the end of this December. By December.
Yeah. Very good.
So you've got, but that's 2 expansion teams in the NBA. Meanwhile, they'll be expanding into NBA Europe. So let me ask you this. You are the owner of the London Lions. Do you play in the Super League, or do you play in the NBA Europe?
Both.
It won't be both.
I'll field 2 teams called the London Lions.
That's the real answer.
Yeah. So both.
You have your own 2 leagues because Manchester don't have a Giants or anything. That's just Manchester basketball. But if you have the 2 teams, if you're allowed to do that,
time will tell. Look, but talking about London, Mark, like I don't think
they're now and
the first time a British club is going to be stepping onto the floor against an NBA franchise. The first time. It's like you've got to consider this arguably the biggest, greatest exhibition game in UK basketball history. Got to be.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
British team is walking on an NBA floor.
People remember when we'd go back to the Millennium Dome and watch an NBA game there, and they started bringing the exhibition games over then. It was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, we're in our country and we're seeing NBA game. And some of those games were a bit exhibition-y and they weren't.
What, when the NBA travelled?
Yeah, they were not NBA paced. That's the thing that when you then went to an NBA game in regular season, you see people playing, it's like, oh, there's a step up. As opposed to an exhibition. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why they've now made them regular season games that actually count for points rather than just an exhibition. Because if they make it mean something, they're going to actually play a bit more. Yeah, same as they've done with NBA in Mexico for those games in Mexico City and stuff to try and expand it. It's the best way that they've done it. So hats off to NBA there.
Benigay could come up with something for the NBA All-Star game. That'd be good.
If you've got London Lions,
there's one way it could be worse. Just look at the WNBA All-Star game.
Wow, I'm going to be really controversial.
How many missed layups were there? Just count them.
I'm going to be controversial in my thoughts now, and I'll leave it on this. You can't have a London Lions team that also goes.
Don't you diss my London Lions, Mark.
You can't have them in two leagues, okay?
Why not?
I don't think you should.
But you could have an SLB team, and they could be in BE as well. BE Div 1.
NBA has a G League, don't they? All the teams have their own.
There you go, Mark. There you go.
No.
Oh, so you have the London Lions and the London Cubs.
So the Magic have the Ocelot Magic, I believe they're called. I think that's what they're called.
I don't know.
They're not called
underneath.
In the G League.
NBA, Mark.
They're not called. They're just called like the name will be whatever it is, but they don't call them Orlando so and so.
Yeah. There's a different. So we're gonna have the London Lions and the Lion Cubs. Yeah, or the London Cubs. Done.
Bring back the Towers.
Ooh, that'd be good, isn't it? The London Towers
if you're going to do that,
SLB. I just kicked the dog in the face again.
That dog is not.
She's looking at me like, why did you do that? The London Towers and the SLB.
And you need a name for Manchester. What could you possibly bring back for Manchester? Boom.
Giants.
It's literally baked into it.
Or the Manchester Magic.
So the question is, would you?
Obvious one.
So here's the question: if you could bring back the Giants and the Towers as the names, which I'm sure they get the amount of money that's getting pushed around, someone owns it, someone will sell the name. I'm sure that's fine. Would you have the London Lions in the SLB, or would you have the London Lions name in Europe?
Oh, I don't know.
Would you want
That's too hard.
Would you want London Towers in the SLB?
Yeah.
Or would you want London Towers? London Towers. The Towers are the ones who are going to Europe, playing against teams like Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. Do you want the Lions to be playing?
Nah, Lions going to Europe.
Okay, so you'd bring back the London Towers.
The London Lions have got the biggest exhibition game coming
That's the
up.
name.
They're the ones.
So they take the name.
Yeah.
Would you bring back the Giants?
Manchester Giants, yeah. We said that age ago.
No, I'm
Definitely.
saying
Manchester
so you'd have
Giants.
the Giants as the European
If
team.
it's not Giants, it's got to be Manchester Magic.
Okay, so you'd have London Towers in the SLB then, because that'd be cool.
Oh, if they were, if they're having
because that's what I mean. You
team,
can't have if you have one team there, you can't have Lions in both leagues.
But like I said, if it was
because they genuinely
the one team that I know you agree.
Do you know what? Do you know why they won't do that? The other main reason is merchandising. I know it sounds stupid, but why sell one T-shirt when you can sell two? It's like an obvious thing. If you support London Lions, you support London Towers. There's two T-shirts. There's two lots of merchandise.
I don't
there's
know
two
why
lots
they
of
can't
games.
have to be in both leagues.
No,
Lions in both leagues.
Because you need differentiation for branding, for all that sort of stuff. You just need it. It will not do it. They have to have like Real Madrid. There's the A team.
It would be a shame if the UK SLB lose London because they're going in this NBA Europe thing.
Well, I know that football have A and B teams, don't they? I know they do that, but the B teams don't. Do they operate in different leagues and stuff? That's my point. Whereas these are a separate league. If it's a separate league, it has to be. So they'll probably look at it like a G League versus a
Yeah, you could do that.
So you could have London Towers back in.
Yeah, be good.
Playing against the Riders and so forth. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
The London Towers. The London Royals. The Royals.
That was around for a while, wasn't it? Look, you think London Towers, you think Kevin. There's just a storied history of the Towers.
Played against the Towers.
Unlucky.
It was like when they were like just on their downward spiral of non-existence. Probably one of their last seasons.
One of their last seasons. And
I was going, what? This is London Towers in a random gym with 30 people watching.
Well, look, I think these are all... We started this podcast because we want to talk about basketball. We wanted to share our enjoyment for basketball in the UK because it didn't always have that spotlight on it. And to remind people that there are teams all around, there's local teams. Wherever you're listening to this, you're in the UK or if you're abroad, there is always a local team. There's always people who are passionate about it. And certainly in the UK, we have our challenges with venues and finding places to play. But there's a massive group of people who just want UK basketball to do well. And I think now, if you're getting people like Paul Blake, you're getting those people in the...
I'm going to make a bold statement.
The right thing.
I'm going to make a bold statement, Mark. Do you know, there's a match, you just need one spark to light up the whole show.
Your dog's providing something where a spark would be a bad idea.
That one match has a name. And that name is Liverpool Basketball Club. That is the start, the match to light up the SLB.
I'm going to raise your controversial quote.
That's not a controversial quote. I'm just saying, yeah, I think it's going to be the other club's going to, we need to ramp up. Cool, awesome. Bring Plymouth in. Bring all these other teams in. I reckon the SLB. The SLB is, could be 20 teams, and great arenas. It could be it, Mark. We're there. We can see the light.
That right there.
A long tunnel.
That bit of confusion with what's the name, what's the thing, that is the fight that UK basketball has to do at the moment. Because it's been everyone, basically the filing cabinet, all the names, who plays what, where, how, who do I support, where do I support, all of that was thrown in the air.
Who do you support, Mark?
Well, I don't at the moment.
I know you said you like the Bristol Flyers was your favourite logo.
Yeah, I loved the logo. I really did. And I love the colour of their kits and stuff. But then Surrey became the 89ers and it was like, oh, that is a good...
It's just green.
And they're
I don't like green.
I liked them. Thing. I know, but they're the most local to where we're at in Portsmouth. Yeah. So it's like, as South Coast as you can get, it would have been Plymouth, but they left. So that's for me personally. My on-the-spot question to you is, you're making a big song and dance about Liverpool. Could that be your team? You get on the ground floor, sure. Day one supporter.
Maybe.
Day one supporter.
I support them all.
Day one.
I support them all.
You get to say in 3 years' time, someone, I've supported them since they started.
I've got a soft spot for Newcastle. They sent me that. Still got it. They sent me a signed jersey when I got my teeth all knocked out in a Barca game. I remember that. I've got a big soft spot for Newcastle Eagles. Soft spot for Surrey as well.
So when Liverpool...
I really like Caledonia.
Yeah.
It's like, that was the only thing. It was like, that last game we saw, Caledonia versus Surrey, it was like, I was kind of rooting for the game, if you know what I mean. Mark, I am in a highlight of that game as well. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's running down the right side of the court. Boom. Absolutely slams at home. You see me right underneath the basket go, oh, what shot? Stand up. You're sat there, motionless.
Yeah. It hadn't registered with my brain that people were in front of me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everyone wins. out of this. Everyone wins out of this. So it's nice seeing some positivity. And if I can ask anything from any of the people involved in the NBA in Europe,
to give you a job.
Basketball, well, yeah, give me a job by all means. But keep communicating with all the fans, because it's the one thing that has been really lacking, and that's not from the SLB. The SLB, I think, have been very good, but they've had to be controlled because of legal stuff.
Oh, imagine they can get one extra team every year. If it's a powerhouse like Liverpool, if this is the news we do every year, just think in a decade's time, it's going to the match would be lit. The forest would be on fire.
3 years. If they did one team this year, that's 10. Then 3 years' time, we'd be announcing the 13th team or the 14th team, because they're adding one or two maybe.
Portsmouth Pirates. The Portsmouth Pirates. Portsmouth Smugglers.
I think that's the only time.
There. I know they'd want the Portsmouth Force.
If they had, if they, or the Smugglers, if you come back and in 3 years' time someone says, hey, you said this in a podcast, and there is a Portsmouth team and we are in the top flight basketball, there's no reason it couldn't happen with the right funding and the right things in place, and maybe actually winning a season.
Solent Stars.
Yep.
Solent City.
Same thing. If there's Solent City, if there's anything like that and we're in top flight, I think we'd have to back them because it's a South Coast team.
Yeah.
So you'd be cheering for Solent.
Yeah.
Which would be a conflict of your morals.
Yeah. No.
Well, I think that wraps it up nicely for this week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for listening back to us, and go lick old episodes.
Did you say go lick an old episode?
Go lick it. Lick an old episode. Your dog is licking
That's weird, Mark.
Your dog was licking my foot. That's why I said it.
Don't you diss Angel.
Your dog is a menace. An absolute menace. Thank you for listening. I've been Mark.
And I've been Paul. And I only get a picture to Mark of the dog with a Sophie Cunningham vest on or something like that.
Stop licking me.
Congrats to the SLB. You are back. You are on fire. Let's go.
I think your dog told me it likes badminton.
You're a disgrace. Right.